You guys really seem to love my last video on Sword Art Online, so let's make another one. Here is details you missed in Sword Art Online, but I'm only going to cover the Aincrad arc in this video. Let's get started, right after you try to guess what waifu this is. Let's begin nice and friendly with some mild foreshadowing you definitely overlooked if you haven't watched Sword Art Online more than once. Before Kirito even enters Aincrad, we are shown this image on the TV, which you will notice shows Klein and his two best friends just after they bought the game. A few seconds later, Kirito enters the game and begins running through the crowded streets. Wait, did you see it? Klein can once again be found in the background this time, looking at a shop. We are also shown this lovely couple, but I'm sure they're not important. Anyways, Kirito shows Klein how to use sword skills, and he points out that you don't feel pain inside of Sword Art Online. All of a sudden, everyone is teleported back to the spawn point where they are told in order to log out of the game, they must complete all 100 floors. But did you notice the digital model of Aincrad that we are shown only has 45 floors? Then moments later, we get to see this lovely couple's special gender reveal, just before we get a glimpse of the 3 girls that will form Kirito's future harem. Hold up, did we seriously just time skip? It's only episode 2. Well, whatever, at least we get our first glimpse at Egil hidden in the background alongside the beta tester who spearheads the first boss battle. At the meeting, this obnoxious guy says the following.
They snagged all the good hunting spots, and they grabbed all the easy quests too.
Thus leading me to believe that quests do not respawn in Aincrad. Yet later on in that very same day, we witness Kirito say the following.
I got it from the Heifer Strikes Back. That's the quest in the village before you get to this one. You want to know how I did it?
Thus leading me to believe that quests do respawn in Aincrad. Honestly, it's almost impressive how quickly they contradicted themselves there. During the boss battle, Kirito exclaims,
I thought she was a beginner, but she's got good skills.
Even though she hasn't done anything yet. And sadly, our brave leader dies, but we do learn that upon death, items disappear. Then miraculously, 5.5 foot tall Kirito somehow manages to cut completely through a 10-foot tall boss monster. Not sure how that worked, but if you would like a part 2 of this video covering the Alfheim arc, then be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Anyways, another episode and yet another time skip. This time, 10 floors worth of potential content were completely skipped. I'm sure nobody would have wanted to see those floors or the boss battles that happened on them. Speaking of seeing, did anybody notice that Brock from Pokemon has a cameo in episode 3? Yeah, that was bad. But the point is, this guy never opens his eyes. And then apparently the assault team just cleared floor 28. Skipping ahead, Kirito uses his detective vision to track down Sachi, who he proceeds to lie to.
You're not going to die.
Not once.
Yeah, you're not gonna die.
Not twice.
It's okay. I promise you're going to survive.
But 3 times. After that, some stuff happens to some people, which helps to reinforce the fact that upon death, items disappear. Then the anime does what it's good at and time skips again, this time up to floor 49. And can someone explain to me why Klein is so attached to Kirito? They have spent basically no time together whatsoever. Now, onto the episode that serves no purpose except to introduce the lolly. Right after saving Celica, Kirito says the following.
It's because you look like my little sister.
Okay, I'm very aware that I'm not perfect in my anime comparisons, but I mean, come on, seriously? Moving on, we get to see our lovely couple from episode 1 make a reappearance. It warms the heart to know that they were able to work out their differences.
Don't you think camera angles are weird in anime?
Small detail, but did anybody else notice that Kirito is wearing riding spurs? Here is yet another time skip, this time pushing us all the way through floor 56, which is immediately followed up by yet another time skip through floor 59.
Don't you think camera angles are weird in anime? Don't you think camera angles are weird in anime?
Continuing on into the next episode, Detective Kirito uncovers the truth behind the crime and arrives just in the nick of time riding a horse. Wait, what? This is my 4th time watching Sword Art Online, and I had completely forgotten horses were a thing. Anyways, back to the point, Kirito saves the day but allows the 3 members of Laughing Coffin just to walk away. This is the guild, infamous for killing other players, and Mr. Hero just allowed them to walk away and murder who knows how many more people later on? But whatever, the mystery is solved and we never have to see these pointless characters again. Moving on to episode 7, it is finally time to add the final member to Kirito's harem. But why did they focus in on this photo if it serves absolutely no purpose? Okay, before we go any further, I just need to inform you that weapons in SAO have numerical stats such as durability and attack. Now that that's established, prepare yourself, because I'm about to ruin this entire scene. First off, why in the hell did he need to smash the swords together to find out which one is stronger? Just looking at the stats of both weapons would have told you everything you need to know. Second, if Kirito's entire point of acquiring another sword was to dual wield, then why would he be willing to break either of his swords just to determine which one is stronger? And if you're going to say he knew Liz's sword was going to break all along, then that just makes Kirito a total jerk, which leads into my next point, which is that Kirito never even offered to pay Liz back for her broken sword. Basically, this entire scene just makes no sense whatsoever. Next, we have a minor inconsistency, being that when Kirito and Liz originally fall into the pit, they don't make a hole in the snow. But when Kirito tries to run up the wall and falls back down, he makes a giant hole in the snow. Anyways, Liz and Kirito escape, and then we are hit with yet another time skip, this time putting us at floor 74. On this floor, there's these chains that just seem to be floating there, not attached to anything. Then later on in the episode, Asuna feels the need to explain that
in real life, there'd be a lot more steps involved in preparing this.
Thank you for that much needed information. Kirito then uses a secret technique to bypass the need for consent just before making this guy look like an idiot. Then Kirito and Asuna find the floor boss, which they calmly walk away from. Seeing the boss causes Asuna to say,
"We're gonna have to put tanks in the front row and keep switching out just to wear it down."
It just seems kind of odd that she has to mention using basic strategy on floor 74. I mean, shouldn't needing tanks be a given at this point? Also, this is a great opportunity for me to remind you that upon death, items disappear. One thing leads to another, and Kirito finds himself facing off against the floor boss, when he says,
The only way to end this is if I use it.
to which I would reply, no, you don't. You could just run away. I would also like to point out that in episode 1, we established that you don't feel pain in SAO. So why are all these guys just pathetically laying here, unable to move? In episode 10, Asuna gets lowered to an object as she is turned into the reward for a duel, which Kirito quickly proceeds to lose, forcing him into this awkward situation. I'm not really sure how taking away their crystals seems okay since this is a death game and all, but it gives me a fantastic reason to remind you that upon death, items disappear. Have no fear, as Asuna arrives just in time to save the day. But it wouldn't be right for Kirito not to get the killing blow, so he uses his wrist to block an attack, which is super dope. But why didn't he just use the sword that is sheathed on his back? Of course, we know that by now, the items disappear on death. Wait, what? I will give them the benefit of the doubt here and say he dropped his weapon before dying. Then, just like in the Rising of the Shield Hero, nothing noteworthy happened here. To further reinforce my point, in the next episode, you can clearly see they have 2 beds in their house. If they really were baking the potato, then why would they have 2 beds in their house? Just saying. Another detail I never noticed was that you can clearly see the walls of each floor off in the distance. Not really important, but I found it interesting. Then yes, Asuna, please crawl into bed with a strange child that you've never met before. That's not creepy in the slightest. Now, as Kirito and Asuna are looking for Yui's parents, they go to this church where there is a very detailed picture on the wall, and I bet you never noticed it before. Next, Kirito proceeds to use Yui's login info to save her data, instead of potentially shutting down the game and logging everyone out. I really wonder how many people died due to that decision. Starting off episode 13 strong, we have yet another lie.
Don't worry. We'll go fishing again.
Now the final boss battle of the anime has started, and everyone is in shock and awe of this monster. If you didn't know, this is the floor 75 boss, and it puts up an extremely tough fight, but the assault team does manage to claim victory with a handful of losses. After the battle, Kirito realizes that Heathcliff is the game master and tries to stab him in the back, which results in a duel to the death. Well, it turns out Kirito is unable to beat Heathcliff, and Asuna magically breaks free from her paralysis and uses her body to take the slash. It's romantic and all, but she really should have just used the sword on her hip. Man, this sucks. Asuna had such a cool weapon, and we know that upon death, items disappear. Are you freaking kidding me? Anyways, Cloud Armor kicks in, preventing Kirito from dying. Then as they sit here looking super cute, you can see that Grimlock was apparently still alive, and he just logged out of the game. Last thing to mention is that I'm calling bullshit on Kirito's hospital gown. Since when do hospital gowns completely cover your butt? I mean, come on, the ladies watching SAO deserve some fan service too. So, if you would be interested in some cool looking anime posters, then click the link in the card above or the description below. But were you able to guess what waifu this is? It's actually my favorite waifu, Yume from Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. If you don't really care about me or the channel, then feel free to click away now. For everyone else, I ask for 30 more seconds of your time. I will not be posting a video next week. Nothing is wrong, but I've created a 13-week schedule I'm going to try to follow, which will run parallel with the anime seasons. Basically, it's 12 videos straight with 1 week off in between seasons. Also, depending on the results of this video, I may continue this series through the rest of SAO, but don't worry, anime recommendations, especially covering seasonal anime, is still going to be my primary focus and the majority of my content. Thanks for hearing me out, and thanks for watching, everyone. I hope to see you next time. And I love my wife so much, just thought everyone should know that I have a bomb-ass wife. Huh, I don't remember writing that.